And welcome, America. Tom Donahue. Tom Donahue reports on the Oracle Broadcasting Network. So glad you can be with us. New year, 2012. That's right. And it's Politics Central, Politics 2012, and we'll be wall-to-wall coverage. That's right, because we do care about what's going on in this country. So yeah, it is January 3rd. We are live, and a little throat clear there. You know, when you're off the air for a few days, and I spend a lot of time where I'm thinking and not talking. All of a sudden, I don't realize that, you know, I don't do these particular exercises some people do. You know, they hum a tune, and maybe I should. So I I may not have talked for 20, 30 minutes, you know, if it wasn't a phone call or whatever, and I just, hey, I'm here and ready to roll. So I'm sure that the throat, the voice, everything will warm up because, I mean, really heat up. I have an important announcement to make, at least from my perspective. Now, how impactful this announcement will be, probably very, very minor. And again, I'm not placing a lot of importance on this announcement, but I think that you'll have some interest, because I think a lot of people in this movement, when I say this movement, I'm talking about the patriotic freedom, truth-related movement, is conflicted. And you'll know what I'm talking about here in a moment, because we do this little mini monologue, then we go to the break, and then we come back for an extended segment. So hold tight for that. And also, I have refined what I believe to be probably the best thing we can do politically. And some of this is, well, common sense. And some of this is not rocket science, of course. But I will be interested in your take. But if you want to talk about anything beyond the caucuses, politics 2012, really not interested today, okay? You know, go to the conspiracy broom closet and lock yourself in and have at it. But no, there are conspiratorial aspects to this political election and all elections, no doubt about it. But I'm not getting into esoteric sciences today. Okay, we're not chasing rabbits, okay? We're not going down the rabbit hole. So, again, I'm pretty excited about this. I think this program, as we grow, will be more impactful. Right now, we're, you know, kind of in the infancy stages. Not because of talent or experience or knowledge. It's because, you know, we've I guess it's 2 weeks now? I think 2 full weeks that we've been doing a return to live radio. Now, I did want to say that I figured out what was wrong with my Skype. The settings were wrong with my headset. And anyway, I botched that last live program. It was all me, not on Oracle. But if you go to the archives at Tom Donahue Reports at tomdonahue.podomatic.com, we did edit that blank 4 minutes after the theme, because the theme's on for almost a minute, then we do 4 minutes, which is really a 5-minute segment, and then so that has been remedied. Now, I still sound like I'm a little bit in an echo chamber, but hey, we got through it. But if you want that archive of the wrap-up and review of 2011, it's available there, and it's free, and it is edited. Nothing else was edited. It was some blank space, a blank hole. Well, you could hear a few computer keys and a little bit of background noise. I don't think you wanted that. And, just hold tight. Let other people know. Announcement coming. It's important to me. Probably less impactful in the grand scheme of things. But nevertheless, I want to make the announcement. We'll be right back. Hold tight.
Hey, how's that Frankenfood working out for you? You like it? Why don't you quit eating it and start growing your own high-quality, low-cost food? Gardening in a Failed Economy will teach you the methods that you need to grow food just about anywhere, even on concrete. Gardening in a Failed Economy will teach you to grow high-quality, low-cost food in just about any location, just about anywhere in the world. Download a copy of Gardening in a Failed Economy from distributedliving.net.
Across the sands of time, from the lands of Abraham to the lands of Julius Caesar, the metals of the earth were forged into the coin of the realm. Now you can own a piece of history with affordable ancient coins from the Greek, Biblical, Roman, and Byzantine eras. Guaranteed authentic by Genus Numismatics. Transport yourself to the distant past at trustedcoins.com. That's Trusted Coins.
Amazon.com has become a leader in online retail and is a place where people can find and discover virtually anything they want to buy. Amazon offers thousands of products including
books, movies, and music,
full range of electronics,
computer and office,
sports and outdoors,
dry storable and organic foods,
health and wellness,
survival and tactical gear,
home and garden, and much more.
Amazon not only offers over 10,000 online products, but also operates retail websites and offers programs that enable you to sell your products online.
By making your purchases through Amazon.oraclebroadcasting.com, a portion of each purchase goes to the Oracle Broadcasting Network.
Find great prices on hard-to-find items and help support Oracle Broadcasting at the same time. That website again is Amazon.oraclebroadcasting.com.
Did you know that the water you're drinking may contain over 2,000 different contaminants? From hormone-disrupting and mind-altering chemicals like fluoride in pharmaceuticals to newly emerging contaminants like radiation and other hybrid chemicals that water treatment plants don't screen out of our drinking water. PureEffectFilters.com has a breakthrough filter solution to effectively reduce the widest range of such contaminants, including the radiation coming from the Fukushima disaster. In addition, the filters will also revitalize your water by releasing natural minerals and electrolytes while increasing pH and antioxidant levels. Safeguard and revitalize your drinking water today with a breakthrough Pure Effect water filter system. Visit PureEffectFilters.com to learn more or contact us today at 1-888-891-4821. That's 1-888-891-4821. Or visit PureEffectFilters.com to learn more.
Patriotism in Action, Tom Donahue on the Oracle Broadcasting Network, the flagship. Also want to thank the Talk Superstation. 3 days a week, they're with us 2 hours. And the other two, meaning Tuesday and Fridays, they're with us for the first hour. And those of you that need to switch over, feel free to, or stay with your favorite station or network. And just like we run a best of hour right after the 2 hours live, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 to 5 p.m. Central, many of you stay with Doug, and justifiably so. And so his live program follows this. And I want to thank Mike Chambers for all his help and support always. And he precedes this program on the Oracle Broadcasting Network. So, again, we're thankful to the Talk Superstation. Of course, TalkStream Live, the dynamic directory. And I see TalkStream Live as the innovator and integrator of all things talk radio. More than 1,000 unique programs. By the way, those of you that are interested in streaming ratings and rankings, the fourth quarter was completed, and that's just for the top 25 out of more than 1,000 programs. And you'll see some major ups and downs. So you can just click on the blog at TalkStream Live, and you can see those results. But Savage is slaying the closest competitors. And he's actually vying for. I mean, this could be a big year for him in the streaming world. The terrestrial world, he's number 3. He could very well take Rush, and Rush may not occupy the summit. You know, he may have to relinquish the crown. So that's kind of interesting. I do want to thank Savage, although there maybe Doyle, there's others. I mean, I know some in the alternative sphere, but in terms of the mainstream terrestrial radio universe, Savage spent almost the entire program attacking, denouncing, and exposing the NDAA, that National Defense Authorization Act. And Obama says, I'll never use it against the people. You don't have to worry about me. Yeah, we do, imposter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do, Obama Nation. And we don't trust you and never will. And it's not just because he's a Democrat. That has so little to do with it. Sort of like when people say, I remember Savage mistakenly, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it's not important, but he referred to the Council on Foreign Relations on one program as, that liberal left-wing think tank. No, equal membership, Republicans, Democrats, it's the power elite. It's from both parties, and it supersedes all parties, okay? It's kind of the political wing of the world order or the new world order, the established order. And that's where our secretaries of state and so many that are serving actively, and certainly those that have come before them, that's how they are selected or anointed or appointed, and that's what controls the ongoing activities of our government is through that Council on Foreign Relations. Trilateral Commission is more the economic and business wing of the global order, and Bilderbergs would be over them, and there's lots of tiers, and it's hierarchical, it's dynastic, but we'll get into all that at another time. Okay, some of you are clamoring, some of you say, so what? He just returned to live radio, no big deal. Well, again, I've already said how impactful this announcement is, probably minuscule. Could it become more impactful later on? Maybe. I'm not worried about it. I just speak my mind. I'm not worried about the results or the consequences because if you speak truth and it resonates with those that are also truth seekers, then I have no worries. That's the way I live my life. I live by my intuition, instincts, and my gut. So and then the spirit. That's just the way I roll. Okay, it's not logical, it's not rational, although it can be, but that's not how I make my decisions. I don't sit down with a little checklist generally. Okay, I've known Ron Paul, at least I did back in the 80s. Okay, I've talked about his flaws. I talked about, I thought it was a terribly run campaign in 2008, almost destined to lose. And to have virtually no influence except for educating college kids on campuses and inspiring people and getting some message out. He was on message. But the mission, was an unmitigated, disaster. Because from everything that I've heard is that the finances were mismanaged, not mismanaged in a criminal way, and not really profligate in excesses. It just, there were media markets and media buys and things towards the end of the campaign that could have been done differently, and he didn't capitalize on opportunities to have a better outcome as it relates to mission and also furthering the message. So that was disappointing. Also, Ron Paul, as opposed to yours truly, I am a protectionist, and proudly so. Ron Paul is not a protectionist. Ron Paul is a free marketeer. Okay, so he's for free markets, but even if they're unfair, he thinks that somehow, some way, mysterious forces will convince China and other countries to play fair. It doesn't work that way. He's also not really strong on our borders. Okay, so because it's an Austrian economic, libertarian directed message. That's really his ideological that's a window into his ideological framework. Okay, I believe in protecting our borders, protecting our country, protecting our culture. Those things are important. Okay, and I think that the national government, the state governments, and we the people should play a role in that. But I agree on most other things with Ron Paul. Ron Paul would bring home the troops. And here's a guy that did serve honorably in the military, unlike the deferment-laden other candidates. Most of the others did not serve, and actually looked for deferments and were draft dodgers. Okay. So Ron Paul's pro-life. I am too. Ron Paul is a pursuer of liberty. He's a protector of liberty. He's a freedom kind of guy. Okay. The legalization of drugs is not important to me. Decriminalization is. because I think too many people are serving much longer sentences if they should have served any sentence where there's no corpus delicti, there's no injury, there's no body, if you will. Okay, there's no victim. We're talking about victimless crimes. Okay, so I am endorsing Ron Paul, and as an individual, as a host, and you say, well, Jerry Doyle did okay. It doesn't really matter. That's great, fine. And I do that without reservation in the sense that, okay, so there's never going to be a candidate that I would agree 100% in. And some say, well, you belong to a fraternity and there might be a Masonic tie. All I know is there anybody else that's willing to speak to the issues of freedom and so fearlessly take on the Federal Reserve System? Is there anybody that will take on the gangsters, the banksters, and the corporations, and the military machine? I don't know of anybody. It certainly is prominently in the spotlight as Ron Paul. Hold tight, more to come.
AG is a symbol for silver on the periodic table of elements. Silvercoins.ag is the web address for helpful information about silver coins and silver bullion rounds. Silvercoins.ag features articles about the history of silver coins, factors in grading silver coins, and useful information for buying silver coins online. Silvercoins.ag is a great resource for the experienced buyer, anyone just starting to buy or collect silver coins, or friends and family interested in buying silver coins as gifts. Silvercoins.ag links you directly to popular online retailers and auctions so that you can quickly see what is available, compare prices, and purchase in a quick and secure environment. Plus, you help support this broadcast. So whether you're interested in buying 1 coin or 1,000, Silvercoins.ag is the web address to visit. That's Silvercoins.ag.
Flawless Science believes you deserve the right to have a long and healthy life. You deserve to have toxin-free air and water, and foods rich in minerals and nutrients. Factory farming, genetically modified foods, and thousands of environmental contaminants are polluting our world and stripping your right to healthy life away from you. FlawlessScience.com helps you regain these rights. FlawlessScience.com makes natural products and provides the best nutraceutical products to enhance your quality of life, your state of health, and well-being. So whether you're struggling with obesity, diabetes, hypertension, memory loss, allergies, high cholesterol, neuropathy, or to spice things up in the bedroom, FlawlessScience.com is here to help you. FlawlessScience.com ships quickly, worldwide, in discreet packaging, and will never sell your information to anyone for any reason. For all your wellness, weight control, extreme muscle building, and nutraceutical needs, visit FlawlessScience.com today.
Introducing the world's first and only Swiss Gold Savings Plan, specifically designed to be simple and affordable for families worldwide. This is the best way to trade rapidly depreciating paper money for gold. Our product is 999.9% fine Kinnabar-grade gold ingots, refined in weights as small as 1/2 gram, and embedded into a protective card. Finally, everybody can afford to protect themselves with gold. And, best of all, you now have a zero-cost, zero-obligation, once-in-a-lifetime golden opportunity to earn true wealth by sharing this plan with others. Until now, available only to the Europeans, the program has just opened in the U.S. and Canada and is experiencing explosive growth. When you have everything to gain and nothing to lose, you owe it to yourself to at least check it out. For full details, please go to www.swissgoldbythegram.com or click on our banner ad on the oraclebroadcasting.com website. They say timing is everything, and your timing is perfect.
Now, with the Oracle Broadcasting Android application, you can take Oracle with you on the go. Download the app at oraclebroadcasting.com.
Welcome back. Tom Donahue on the Oracle Broadcasting Network. Tom Donahue reports patriotism in action, putting America first. Proud protectionist. So glad you can be with us. January 3rd, a new year, 2012. Iowa Caucuses happening today. Results later tonight. So, you know what we'll be talking about tomorrow. And you say, well, you know, there's nobody there representing me. And some of you might say, that's just a Caucasian caucus. Well, it is true. Just like New Hampshire, it's going to be predominantly, overwhelmingly white. Okay. Just like South Carolina, it would be proportionally, predominantly black. But I would say it's more about the population, you know, the amount of people participating. And yes, maybe demographically some of these states are not going to be all that representative. And the caucuses, which I've heard certain people point out, and it's true, that's not in the Constitution. That was something that the parties decided on. Okay? I mean, I'm not really against caucuses. Matter of fact, the Founding Fathers weren't really that excited about parties in general. And speaking of parties, and I'm going to elaborate further on the whole endorsement of Ron Paul and some of the particulars about that. But remember I had talked about, and it just so happened that there was another organization on the same day, maybe we're on the same wavelength, that were talking about occupying the Republican Party, and they put together a tweet and a blog page and all that. Well, the more I thought about it, I said, well, there's two parties, really one party with two heads. And it's sort of like two intramural teams, squabbling or competing, but really still the same end goals, except for some minor variations. You know, they can have a little bit of differencing as it relates to ideological and philosophical items. But the big things, they seem to be on the same page if you look at the voting records, except for some maybe social or cultural issues. This is what I came up with, because I really gave this a lot of thought. We either have to crash the party or block the party, which means really wreck the parties. Well, we haven't done so well at putting the wrecking ball to these parties. You know, my solutions that I have recommended, although who am I and what influence do I have? But I still get it out there, and I have said it for the last few years. Oh, actually, it goes back to the 80s and 90s, which I kind of thought this way and expressed myself in various ways. And that is, I would like to see the abolition, the abolishment of both parties. So that individuals run as individuals, and you network with those, or you can even caucus if you want. But you're still an individual that's representing your district or your state, and the Constitution, of course, and the protection of personal liberties, and doing the right things. So that's unlikely. So then it's almost like, okay, how do we have competing parties, multiple parties, not just a third party, but multiple parties? That's also difficult because they're all going to be underfinanced. And look at even Gingrich. Who was it? Gingrich and whomever that didn't make it on the Virginia ballot. Okay, so if the big boys of the established political order might get bumped from certain primary, slates, then, even the libertarians have been the best at this. Most years they get on all 50, on the ballot in all 50 states, but they work at it for 4 years, and it's ongoing. And they've been in existence since 1971. But again, with the exception of, a few state races, libertarians usually don't win. They're lucky if you could say that of all the candidates they field, maybe a 1% get in at city council. They might get in at some legislative areas. But so the other was, and I talked about this during the 2010 cycle, was that it's Operation Infiltration, doing an insurgency, and because there's no other way of actually even seemingly having any semblance of success without working through those parties. So I guess you have to say, do you take the wrecking ball to them, which is going to be highly unlikely. It's just not going to happen in our time. It doesn't seem that way. And these third parties always get taken over, or self-implode. And so what do you do? So my sense is it's time to crash the party. Now, after you get into office, and I think there's going to be some of you. I remember during my time as host in the early to mid 90s, several people became inspired, not just because of my program, but the political climate, et cetera, and they just felt inspired or motivated to run for office, and some of them actually gained office. I mean, they became office holders at various levels. And some of them ran as Republicans. I don't know, maybe some as Democrats, but I think probably in terms of rhetoric, probably Republicans and also Libertarians and maybe just simply Independents. But so this is an issue that you're going to say, well, if we can't make any difference or any headway, we just bail out. Now, you do have the right not to vote. You absolutely that is your to me. Sometimes that is a vote of protestation to not vote because you're so disgusted. You're so reviled by the process and the prospects of these cretins or creeps getting into office. And you don't want to put – and again, I am not a believer in voting for the lesser of evils. And I'm not a believer that anybody but Obama. And so you look at these creatures of corporations and these creatures of the political machine, which sometimes it's one and the same. And it's scary. It really is. So my sense is that even if it's a mismanaged campaign, although obviously they're better organized, they're getting a better result early on. And the media, they didn't attack Ron Paul like this before because they saw him as a laughingstock. But now, because the ground game is so well organized and the fervent followers are making the difference, Ron Paul has a chance to finish in that top three, might even surprise people and win the Iowa Caucuses. Now, he should do better in New Hampshire because it's the live free or die state. There's so many libertarians. How about the Free State Project and so many that have relocated to New Hampshire? If Ron Paul wins New Hampshire, and those of you that really are really into this political game, and sometimes in some ways it is a game, I would say get to New Hampshire and do what you can to help. Now, don't have any dreamy expectations. I mean, don't be unrealistic. I mean, the machine is not going to let him be their candidate. I mean, for one, all the dirty tricks, and some of them have already come out, they're going to really hit him hard. And again, I've said they're going to skewer him. They're going to marginalize him. But just like with Pat Buchanan, and Pat was actually a little more establishment, of course, than Ron Paul, but you saw what they did to him. So they're going to tar and feather him. But again, every election cycle, if we can recruit more people to the message of freedom, liberty, truth, and the pursuit thereof, then we are closer to more of us saying enough is enough, and we are truly reclaiming our republic, whether you like it or you don't. So my sense is right now, it's time to crash the party. So it's Operation Crash the Party. And at some point, it's block the party or wreck the party. But right now, it's time to crash. And let's see if we can get our way. That's the way I see it. These are my views, and only my views, and I hold to them, and I support them. So, and we'll take your calls.
This is the Oracle Broadcasting Radio Network. Visit us online at oraclebroadcasting.com. You know the Constitution like the back of your hand. You've read books, listened to podcasts, attended lectures, surfed websites, and watched videos. You've made liberty your life's goal, but something seems to be missing. Stickers from LibertyStickers.com. Exercise your freedom of speech with the world's most dangerous bumper stickers. That's LibertyStickers.com. But wait. There's more. You can buy Liberty stickers wholesale. Get them for 99 cents each when you put 100 or more in your shopping cart in any combination. Sell them or give them away. They're great for gun shows, flea markets, fairs, outreach, and more. Earn extra money, promote freedom, and spread the word. Need custom stickers, labels, or decals for your organization or business? Liberty Stickers makes them. Go to libertystickers.com to order or call 877-873-9626. libertystickers.com, the world's most dangerous stickers.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
The Oracle Broadcasting Radio Network is on a mission to bring you the best in cutting-edge talk radio. Oracle Broadcasting is a true beacon of free speech, uncensored news, and relevant information that depends on the support of listeners just like you. You can help us expand our reach and inform the masses. Promote the network by clicking the Socialize link on the left-hand side of the oraclebroadcasting.com website. Using the simple tools provided, it is easy to spread the word about Oracle Broadcasting on social networking websites, blogs, news feeds, and many other ways with just one click. You can also help by becoming an Oracle Broadcasting member today. For just $5 a month, you get access to the members stream that allows you to listen to all of the great shows from Oracle Broadcasting in 128K stereo CD audio quality. To find out more, go to oraclebroadcasting.com. And thank you for listening to the Oracle Broadcasting Radio Network.
Welcome back, Tom Donahue. Tom Donahue reports on the Oracle Broadcasting Network. It's the flagship. We do want to thank Talk Superstation now. This week, they join us live daily, 3 days a week. It's the 2 full hours, and 2 of those days, Tuesdays and Fridays, 1 hour. And we thank them, and we appreciate all those good folks, and they've been with me a while, and thank you indeed. Now, and of course, all the good work at DJ. And DJ, thanks for the edit on the program that I botched last Thursday. Now, Friday, you might say, well, Tom, you could have gotten that Friday in. Well, it was kind of a family day, and, I am a graduate of Rutgers University, and Rutgers was playing in the Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium, and so we watched it on ESPN, and hey, they won, and it was fun, it was interesting, and, I don't live or die by the results, but it was a great athletic contest, and glad they prevailed. And the night before, I was fortunate enough, and you might say, who cares about any of this? Well, you don't have to care. I can't give you, wall-to-wall, every single second, political and also conspiratorial. I mean, there's going to be some other aspects to yours truly, the host, or other views or other things going on in my world or the world at large that I may comment on. And if you don't like it, then get the flock out. That's F-L-O-C-K. And yes, let the door hit you on the keister. Okay? No, I'm not all that concerned about it. We'll replace you. But nevertheless, there's plenty of seats here in the streaming world. And we're looking forward to making our connections with stations, especially the mom and pop stations. They're looking for something in the alternative, something to contrast with the established order on the media dial. So what I want to say, so Thursday night, I'm watching, I just happened to turn on ESPN, going through the dial, and I knew Rutgers was on, but I didn't know that they were going to televise the game with Florida, the Gators, with number 10 in the nation. Went into double overtime, and Rutgers won that. So it was kind of a Rutgers kind of victory, couple of days there, and it was cool, so I enjoyed that. The New Year's Eve, I don't go out and do all that partying and crazy stuff. It was just quiet, it was just, I kept myself out of all that chaos. But I watched a little bit of, Dick Clark Embalmed. And, I mean, the guy he's going to keep working till he croaks. That's why he hired Ryan Seacrest, because the guy has about 12 different gigs each day. And, some people are just workaholics. Even if it's, some of what they produce might be quality stuff. It's just crap, but they don't care. Well, anyone's going to produce the Kardashians. What do you expect? He's a metrosexual. What can I tell you? Okay. Is the girl a real girlfriend? Who knows? Doesn't matter. I guess she came from Dancing with the Stars or something. But The Bachelor's on now. But anyway, so back to this New Year's Eve. I mean, they did have a better production than the other programs. I mean, Fox was terrible. NBC was terrible. So I'll give them in terms of production value, and some of their hosts at least had some, some people skills and some communication abilities. But the Lady Goo Goo Gaga, okay, so you're kind of an updated Madonna, but uglier. Okay, whatever. It's just this is just crazy. People just get so into it. They were talking to people in the front of this New Year's celebration in Times Square. And yeah, the midget Bloomberg was there with Lady Goo Goo Gaga dropping the ball. Two wonderful people. Well, anyway, they're asking people, how long have you been here? They're at the guardrail, and there's a million people there. And I said, we've been here since 9 a.m. So I don't know if they're wearing Depends or what, but they said, well, we just have to hold our business because you can't lose your place in line because you can't get back. Could you imagine that? You're in physical distress because you want your face to be shown and you want to be up close and personal with the New Year's, festivities. That's crazy. I mean, that's just nuts. Oh, and the other thing that was nuts, and I'll get back to the important things here in just a moment. I don't know if you saw, but on 60 Minutes they had this rock climber, this mountain climber that doesn't use any tools of the trade. He uses his bare hands to actually climb super steep mountains. I had to turn away. I have a little bit of fear, but not a major fear. As long as I know it's a guardrail and I know that. But yeah, heights to me, that is. If I had to do it to save somebody, that sort of like if I have to, parachute, or if I had to do bungee jumping to save someone, I'd do it. But that's not entertainment to me. That's not fun. I can get thrills other ways. I can be challenged in other ways. But I don't know if you saw that. I don't know how a human being does that. No cables, no tools, just his bare hands going up the super steepest. You can check it out in 60 Minutes. I was like, wow, I don't like to use the word, but I'll use it right now. Awesome. I don't know. That word just doesn't resonate with me. I don't like it. But I needed some word that meant spectacular, just off the charts, and that's what came to me. So yes, it is true that Friday and Monday were rebroadcast. I think most of the folks on our network, and most of the folks out there, except there were a few hosts that did go live, especially on Monday. And I know it wasn't the holiday per se, but my sense was that there wasn't enough of you that would be as interested in the live program, might not be as appreciated. And those of you that have never done this, and although I don't have a sidekick, I don't have, a panel of some people have like a little cadre of folks around them, but it's almost like getting up and doing stand-up comedy, except for the commercial breaks. And it takes a certain amount of energy, and that's why the marathon man, Mike, I don't know how he does it, but 4 hours is a lot of time. And it's a talent, and it's a dedication. But a lot of people don't realize that when you see like TV or like the news, a lot of this stuff's prepackaged. They have multiple takes. If you're watching Entertainment Tonight or any of those shows, It's all pre-recorded. They cannot do. Number one, they're not original enough to think of those things to say or do, and secondly, they screw up their lines. Even the best actors generally do. So when you're doing this in talk radio and you're doing this live, there's a lot of you're using a lot of glycogen, energy for the brain. There's a lot of stuff going on that, like I said, when I finish a program, I have this sense of exhilaration, but also exasperation. It's not that, but you're so wound up, you can't just go take a nap. I can't. You're wound up. You're still supercharged, and I think that's what can propel someone into that. Because I've done 3-hour shows and 4th hours, because you're it's almost like, I'm not a coffee drinker, and I've talked about the difference between tea and coffee, and we'll get into all the health stuff at another time too. New Year's resolutions, whatever. Should be resolutions every day. So, yes, we are live today. It is Tuesday. It is the Iowa Caucuses, and I've endorsed Ron Paul. Regardless of his lack of charisma, his lack of organizational acumen in terms of how he's going to really, actually learn from his mistakes or the campaign trail's mistakes of 2008, I'm not going to worry about all that. I'm just going to say there's only one guy that says bring the troops home. Only one guy that is not for the warfare state. There's only one guy that's seriously talking about real money, sound money, and ending the Federal Reserve. Okay, that's good enough for me. Okay, so he's not the best debater. So he's a little bit quirky. So he's a little bit grumpy. So he's, there's things that, and he's not a protectionist, so he's a non-interventionist, not an isolationist neither. And he gets some things wrong. I was against that mosque or whatever you wanted to call their center there around Ground Zero. Ron Paul and I, we part ways on some things, but again, on the major issues, the issues that are most monumental, that can rock the foundations of this country or to restore its original intent and foundations, he's the guy. Is there anybody else getting this kind of publicity? Now, I know the 100% conspiracists will say, "Oh, yes, he was a member of fraternity. He's playing this out. It's a role he's playing." I don't believe that. Now, you're entitled to believe whatever you want. I'm just simply saying that I don't expect them to win, and I'm not backing someone because I expect them to win. But when I started to think about this beyond just the message and the mission, I said, you know what? It's ridiculous if I don't want to be petty and say, well, he's not a protectionist and he's a little too far libertarian for me. He's the best guy on the stage. And so I'm supporting Ron Paul. I'd like him to be president, but it's the message, it's the mission that matters most.
TeamSpeak.cc is proud to announce that TeamSpeak 3 is now available. TeamSpeak is now more flexible, powerful, and scalable. TeamSpeak software enables people to speak with one another and transfer files over the internet. TeamSpeak represents years of engineering experience and is available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. TeamSpeak.cc has the best integrated solutions for online gamers, virtual worlds, social networks, education, and any environment where up to thousands of users require crystal clear voice communications. Users can finally say goodbye to echo, feedback, and background buzzing noises as the evolution in quality voice communication has arrived. Go to teamspeak.cc to find out more. Servers now available and starting at just $2 a month. Remember, that website is teamspeak.cc, your total voice-over IP solutions provider. Teamspeak.cc.
At hempusa.org, we offer chemical-free products to people around the world, detoxifying, self-healing, while rebuilding the immune system. We urge our listeners to please consider our largest-selling product, microplant powder. Our microplant powder is rich in silica and probiotics to help rebuild the immune system and to create a healthy stomach flora. Microplant powder is excellent for daily intake and is perfect to add to your storage shelter. We urge our listeners to please visit us at hempusa.org. And remember, all of our products are chemical-free and healthy to eat. We constantly strive to give you the best service, highest quality, and rapid shipping anywhere. And we offer free shipping on orders over $95 in the U.S. Please visit us at hempusa.org or call 908-691-2608. That's 908-691-2608. See what our powder, seeds, and oil can do for you at hempusa.org.
Hey, how's that Frankenfood working out for you? You like it? Why don't you quit eating it and start growing your own high-quality, low-cost food? Gardening in a failed economy will teach you the methods that you need to grow food just about anywhere, even on concrete. Gardening in a failed economy will teach you to grow high-quality, low-cost food in just about any location, just about anywhere in the world. Download a copy of Gardening in a Failed Economy from distributedliving.net.
Across the sands of time, from the lands of Abraham to the lands of Julius Caesar, the metals of the earth were forged into the coin of the realm. Now you can own a piece of history with affordable ancient coins from the Greek, Biblical, Roman, and Byzantine eras. Guaranteed authentic by Janus Numismatics. Transport yourself to the distant past at trustedcoins.com. That's trustedcoins.com.
Come explore the human stargate and what lies beyond. Walk the rebel path. Sundays.
Welcome back, Tom Donahue on the Oracle Broadcasting Network. Thanks to TalkStream Live and the Talk Superstation as well, and all parts beyond. This is about patriotism in action, putting America first. New World Order dead last. It's about the pursuit of liberty, freedom, truth in all matters. And yes, Ron Paul will not talk about openly, 9/11 truth. You're not going to get everything out of and is it strategic? Probably so. There are things. Every human being is flawed. You're not going to find the most perfect person, but he's the only crusader for the Constitution, freedoms, and a pursuer of liberty. And I mentioned some of the major things that Ron Paul stands for. There's no denying what he believes in terms of many of these. I think they're monumental issues of our time, and so I said, you know what? Okay, I despise the parties, and I'd love to see them, obliterated. Just annihilate them, okay? But it's not going to happen. So that's why I say it's time to crash the party. We'll wreck the parties later. Okay, but we got to use whatever means we have right now to defend our freedoms. And if it means operation infiltration and this insurgency, then that's what we got to do. So I encourage as many of you that are interested, even though it's a cesspool, it's a political cesspool, it's time to engage. It's time to get involved. It's time to try to make a difference. I'm the type of person that I put forward a certain amount of effort without knowing for certain what the result might be. Just like when you take an exam in high school or in college, and after it's over, it's over. I'll give you another example. TalkStream Live. Bill Fries confirmed to me that yes, the program the last 2 quarters made in the top 100, but I had some downtime because of being in between networks and not streaming as much, and I may not make the top 100 out of those 1,000 shows for the year 2011. I will this year. I can guarantee you. But hey. The program streamed. The program was out there when it was, and I got to live by those results. So, but again, you just try to put forward your best effort, and then you concern yourself with the results in time. we are going to take calls. Many of you know the numbers. You can check it out at oraclebroadcasting.com. I know the Talk Superstation has the numbers, call-in numbers listed. We have it at our host lounge at TalkStream Live. But I want to go right to the phones. And those of you that, again, if you're saying, Tom, I'm not sure of the number, just go to oraclebroadcasting.com. It's right there. Let's go to Matt. Matt's in Florida. Hi, Matt. Welcome. Wait a minute. Matt, are you there? Okay. I'm not hearing you, Matt, so I'm assuming you're not there. Okay. All right, try back again. I think I had you on hold too long. So those things do happen. I apologize. But I felt that my messaging was important enough to take up the time. Again, this program is not driven by the callers. Although I think in time, you guys will play a more fundamental role. I think you'll be more instrumental. But I will tell you that I'm looking at booking guests that'll be in certain segments. During those segments, I may or may not take your calls. But let me just explain something. If you're calling in to just say, I'm going to have a casual conversation with a guest, don't even try it. Not interested. But if you're calling in with a specific question, you got some ideas, you want to, even if it's sparring, but it's concise, it's cogent, it's convincing, it's compelling. But yeah, if you're Mr. Bongamania, if you're Mr. Hey, I'm just relaxed. Hey, if you're doing the stutter step, every single second's precious on this air, okay? And I'm not going to squander that time. Now, I know there's a lot of butt kissers in talk radio that say, what am I going to do to fill the time? I'm not worried about that. I never have, never will. And so these hosts that live or die by the call, I've had programs where I intentionally did not take the calls. And I've also been on networks that there weren't a lot of calls, and so you had to walk the plank, period. But we've had some very good callers, some very interesting callers, and I'm sure that we'll have more of those. But also, and I'm not here to just hang out with the callers, oh man, okay, what do you think about this? It doesn't matter for the most part. Don't have a name, but let's just go to this caller here. Caller from Parts Unknown, you are up and you are next. Go ahead.
Tom, this is a first-time caller, long-time listener. My name's Bob Tuskin. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, I think I know who you are, Bob. We got that Oracle connection.
We got an Oracle connection.
Well, if your name is Bob Tuskin, are you not involved in Oracle?
I mean, that could be a conspiracy, Tom. You don't want people to misinterpret that.
Call it what it is. But if you're an imposter, then so be it. But anyway, what's on your mind?
Hey, I was just tuning in. I just got back into the country. I was on a little adventure behind the scenes here. And I've gotten to listen to a few of your shows. And I also took your advice on the TalkStream Live thing, which is fairly interesting. I don't know how I feel about it yet, though. Still kind of wrapping my head around it.
No, there's nothing much to wrap around. It's a broadcast buffet. It lets new listeners check out your program. It all goes back and gets credited to the station or the network of origin. So it's a great system of getting your message out there to a larger audience rather than just pigeonholing yourself and saying, okay, I'm on an internet stream that has a certain built-in audience, and I'm not interested in growing. That's why when people have challenged me on this, I say, why wouldn't you want to grow your audience? Why don't you want to reach new people? That's the whole thing. It's an outreach.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many new people we've reached through it yet.
Well,
but
it's not like a checklist saying, well, if they don't. I mean, it's free. It's available. I mean, you can list, you don't list. It's voluntary, and that's the reasons. Some of the reasons why I'm a great supporter. But go ahead.
Well, yeah. I think we need to go beyond the choir. I think at the end of the day, we sit here and we talk amongst ourselves all the time, and we don't reach new people who need to wake up and figure out what's going on. So
that's right.
Anytime I can do that, I want to take advantage of that. And yes, we have to put ourselves amongst the likes of Rush Limbaugh, and I know you got nicknames for all these clowns,
of course.
but yeah. So Tom, the other thing I wanted to hear is if you could confirm. I just got back in the country, like I said, but somebody told me that we had the president of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, openly saying that his cancer, which I may have suspected was because of the weaponized cancer programs here, but he's openly now saying, yes, I was dosed with some weaponized cancer from yours truly.
Oh, yeah, he believes that it could be CIA inspired or some black ops from this country. And again, we don't know what role he plays. I mean, is he really an outsider, a real communist, so to speak, that is opposed to the New World Order, or is he a player that's one of the many boogeymen of the world? I don't know. Quite frankly, I'm not that concerned about it.
I think it's interesting, though, and we've long suspected the government or the shadow government or whoever the compartmentalized interests are involved with this.
Well, let's stay with the topic today, if you don't mind. Maybe you didn't hear this. I've just endorsed Ron Paul, even with his flaws and even with, I guess, a little bit of hesitation at first. What are your thoughts about Ron Paul and being the only real freedom candidate, at least in terms of those that are part of the recognized field?
I have a different take on Ron Paul than a lot of people. I was very much involved with Ron Paul in 2004 already. Yeah,
2008 was when he ran first time for a Republican nomination. 88 was the Libertarian.
Okay. And the bottom line, though, Tom, is that I think we have, just in general, way too much of an emphasis on the presidential election.
Well, there's no
Ron Paul is, so as far as that's concerned, I'd much rather talk about who's running for your local sheriff's department.
Oh, those things are vitally important, no question about it.
So endorsing Ron Paul as an end-all cure to everything, I don't know.
I'm just simply saying that I decided, me personally, speaking only for myself, an army of one, what sway or influence that has, probably very little. But I wanted to express, in this beginning of the political season, really, I mean, things heat up tonight in the caucuses. You can almost call it the Caucasian caucus. Thank you so much, Bob. Appreciate it. As you know, we are out of time for this hour, hour one. Another hour to come. Patriot Talk Radio. Hold tight.
Amazon.com has become a leader in online retail and is a place where people can find and discover virtually anything they want to buy. Amazon offers thousands of products, including
books, movies, and music,
full range of electronics,
computer and office,
sports and outdoors,
dry, storable, and organic foods,
health and wellness,
survival and tactical gear,
home and garden, and much more.
Amazon not only offers over 10,000 online products, but also operates retail websites and offers programs that enable you to sell your products online.
By making your purchases through Amazon.oraclebroadcasting.com, a portion of each purchase goes to the Oracle Broadcasting Network.
Find great prices on hard-to-find items and help support Oracle Broadcasting at the same time. That website again is Amazon.oraclebroadcasting.com.
Did you know that the water you're drinking may contain over 2,000 different contaminants? From hormone-disrupting and mind-altering chemicals like fluoride in pharmaceuticals to newly emerging contaminants like radiation and other hybrid chemicals that water treatment plants don't screen out of our drinking water. PureEffectFilters.com has a breakthrough filter solution to effectively reduce the widest range of such contaminants, including the radiation coming from the Fukushima disaster. In addition, the filters will also revitalize your water by releasing natural minerals and electrolytes while increasing pH and antioxidant levels. Safeguard and revitalize your drinking water today with a breakthrough Pure Effect water filter system. Visit PureEffectFilters.com to learn more or contact us today at 1-888-891-4821. That's 1-888-891-4821. Or visit PureEffectFilters.com to learn more.
Looking for news and real information? You found it. This is OracleBroadcasting.com.
to hour number 2. I am Tom Donahue. Tom Donahue Reports on the Oracle Broadcasting Network. It's the flagship, and we are so grateful to all the good, gifts, if you will. I mean, it's a blessing to be on this network. And quite frankly, one of the most professional networks I have dealt with. And they allow me to be me. There is no criticism, no skepticism, no cynicism. It's just they let me roll. Okay? And that's really an important thing, because if you feel in any way like your style is being crimped or encroached upon, or there's at least some even it might not be overt, could even be subtle. So I'm glad for that. Okay, the announcement I made, if you're just joining us, we're in prime time drive time, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time, live, and it is January 3rd, 2012, Iowa Caucuses. Things are heating up. And the announcement I made, again, I'm not looking for it to be impactful. I'm not sending out a press release. I'm just simply saying that I had a lot of time to think about this. And I can say without major reservations, yes, what I'm about to say, in case you are joining us in progress, is I've decided to endorse Ron Paul as an individual, as a host, because there is no other candidate that is a freedom fighter, that actually stands for the pursuit of liberty and the protection of liberty. There is no other candidate currently. Now, I'm not saying that I wouldn't endorse someone else as an independent. I can endorse more than one person. At least I think I can. I'm going to if I find someone else that I think is also equally capable, that's independent minded. But right now there's no more highly visible person that's competing competitively. No, I'm not saying he's going to win anything, but he could win the caucus. I think Romney's going to pull it out somehow, sadly to say. And of course, Santorum with the values voters, and with the evangelical, support, he could sneak out a win. But neither of those are going to win, in my view, based on a corrupt and fixed system. But that's not to say that we can't work towards furthering the message and the mission, even though 2008 was a flawed campaign. In terms of the resources and how they were funneled into, there was a lot of missteps and mistiming and misspending, not in a corrupt way, more in an, I would have to use the word, inept way. And I don't know why that was. Now, I know people can become very conspiratorial and still say, okay, he belonged to a fraternity. There's some theories that he could be a Mason, and all I know is that this man is bringing to the forefront, and he has for many years, the issue of sound money. The fact that the Federal Reserve not only needs to be audited but needs to be ended. Someone that believes in non-interventionism, not isolationism. I'm a protectionist, so I go a step further, but that's me. And also, I am someone that I believe in tariffs. I believe in whatever it takes to protect our nation state. We should do. We should never go into the fight in an unfair way. They got a bazooka. We're not walking in with a slingshot. Okay, it's not happening. They got brass knuckles and we walk in with a velvet glove. No, They got knives and we got a pinky. No, We're going to protect ourselves. More to come. Although I welcome your calls on these issues. That's the parameters today. Right back. Hold tight.
AG is a symbol for silver on the periodic table of elements. Silvercoins.ag is the web address for helpful information about silver coins and silver bullion rounds. Silvercoins.ag features articles about the history of silver coins, factors in grading silver coins, and useful information for buying silver coins online. Silvercoins.ag is a great resource for the experienced buyer, anyone just starting to buy or collect silver coins, or friends and family interested in buying silver coins as gifts. Silvercoins.ag links you directly to popular online retailers and auctions so that you can quickly see what is available, compare prices, and purchase in a quick and secure environment. Plus, you help support this broadcast. So whether you're interested in buying 1 coin or 1,000, silvercoins.ag is the web address to visit. That's silvercoins.ag.
Flawless Science believes you deserve the right to have a long and healthy life. You deserve to have toxin-free air and water, and foods rich in minerals and nutrients. Factory farming, genetically modified foods, and thousands of environmental contaminants are polluting our world and stripping your right to healthy life away from you. FlawlessScience.com helps you regain these rights. FlawlessScience.com makes natural products and provides the best nutraceutical products to enhance your quality of life, your state of health, and well-being. So whether you're struggling with obesity, diabetes, hypertension, memory loss, allergies, high cholesterol, neuropathy, or to spice things up in the bedroom, FlawlessScience.com is here to help you. FlawlessScience.com ships quickly, worldwide, in discreet packaging, and will never sell your information to anyone for any reason. For all your wellness, weight control, extreme muscle building, and nutraceutical needs, visit FlawlessScience.com today.
Introducing the world's first and only Swiss Gold Savings Plan, specifically designed to be simple and affordable for families worldwide. This is the best way to trade rapidly depreciating paper money for gold. Our product is 999.9% fine Kinnabar grade gold ingots, refined in weights as small as 1/2 gram, and embedded into a protective card. Finally, everybody can afford to protect themselves with gold. And, best of all, you now have a zero-cost, zero-obligation, once-in-a-lifetime golden opportunity to earn true wealth by sharing this plan with others. Until now, available only to the Europeans, the program has just opened in the U.S. and Canada and is experiencing explosive growth. When you have everything to gain and nothing to lose, you owe it to yourself to at least check it out. For full details, please go to www.swissgoldbythegram.com or click on our banner ad on the oraclebroadcasting.com website. They say timing is everything, and your timing is perfect.
It's time to crash the party. That is my motto. You may agree. You may disagree. You say, what is he talking about? I just joined in. What do you mean, crash the party? Well, we're not going to be able to wreck the parties. Meaning, we're not going to be able to abolish the parties. And so the one party with the two heads that need to be severed, it's going to be a work in progress. So in the meantime, and I've given this a lot of thought. Remember I talked about Occupy the Republican Party? I mean, if you're more comfortable crashing whatever party, go ahead. But I really believe sort of like a wedding crasher. It's time to crash the party. Infiltrate, insinuate yourself in there, but whatever it takes to accomplish the political means. And again, there's nothing insidious. There's nothing invidious. There's nothing, seedy or criminal or unethical about saying, hey, this is the political structure. This is the conduit to get there, and we will use it. And then you can renounce your membership or your association if you want and go independent after you've gotten there. Now, I think Ron Paul, he was reluctant to take that step and become an independent because I guess he felt like the only way, which is true, that he's in the place that he's in now, getting the recognition and being able to debate and to be able to compete, is that he had to continue with that Republican, membership. Now, I despise both parties of political prostitution and criminality. There is no question. But because you despise something, and because you abhor, its functions or its offerings, if you want to be part of the political system and affect change, you may have to do that. You may have to infiltrate. So that's why I'm calling it Operation Crash the Party. And that's my view, and I'm holding to it. Now, you might look at it differently. And again, I had a view more than a year ago that we should withdraw completely and not support or vote or participate in any way, shape, or form with either of these parties. Well, that sounds good on the face, but then you're left with what? Okay, so some third party could surface, or the libertarians that have been here for going on 40 years and have accomplished very little. And so my sense is right now we're in dire straits. We can't vote for the lesser of evils. We can still support other independents, and we'll see what comes up in this coming year in terms of independent movements and candidates and all that. But right now, at this time, no, my endorsement's not going to mean, it doesn't mean that much. I know that. But I'm just simply saying that, if there's anything we can do to give credence or to give a little bit of mojo, even if it's a small amount, to the message and the mission. And again, there are areas that I find Ron Paul to be flawed, but every human being is flawed. But I don't believe he is wrapped up in this conspiracy. I don't believe that just because he doesn't talk the way we would like him to talk about the roots or the research as it relates to 9/11 truth, or that maybe he's too libertarian on some things, and he's certainly in a party that is as corrupt as the other party. Lesser evil doesn't mean it's no evil. And so my sense is that, and again, I'm not saying devote all your time and energy and donations to this, because you might say, well, it's fruitless, it's futile, it's folly. Well, okay. But again, don't wrap your heart and soul around this. I remember people that were the best intentioned people, and they actually believed Ron was going to win in 2008, which is laughable. It's not as laughable today, because he may actually win the caucus. Or caucuses, because you can look up the definitions. But nevertheless, the Iowa Caucuses. Even if he wins that, and even if he were fortunate enough, and he could because of all the libertarians and disgruntled Republicans and independent-minded folks in the great state of New Hampshire, live free or die state. But when he gets to South Carolina, I think he's going to get, just like with Pat Buchanan, I think he's going to get, obliterated. And Florida, the same thing. Ron Paul the steam is going to, the steam in that campaign is really going to run out pretty quickly. That's why I said, you know what, I'm going to support him early on. And you might say, well, you could have done it earlier. Well, I don't know. I mean, you have to be true to yourself. I could not a week ago, even before this weekend, commit to this concept, and it just came to me through prayer, meditation, and just kind of cogitating on this, that this was the right thing to do. Again, I'm not worried about your judgment. I'm not worried about whether you think that, well, Tom, you've kind of swung back this way. Again, I still take Ron Paul on some issues, but is he the freedom candidate? Is he the beacon of liberty? Is he a guy that truly believes in just weights and measures, sound money? Does he really believe that not only an audit but an end to the Federal Reserve? I mean, we can talk about how I think he could have done things differently in some of the committee hearings, how he could handle himself in debates or in interviews, or the certain policy positions or planks that I disagree with. Yes, but there is no other candidate that I think holds near and dear to his heart and to his mind, to his spirit, liberty and freedom more than Ron Paul. You cannot name someone in that Republican Party. There is none, and even those that are not represented or didn't declare themselves. I don't know of any other Republican, named Republican, office holder that has the credentials of Ron Paul as it relates to freedom and liberty. And I know all the neocons are, they're worried about Iran and they're worried about bringing home the military. When Rick Santorum says that Ron Paul's disgusting because he's so wedded as a neocon. And when Rick Perry says that he has the strongest allegiance to Israel, and he stressed that multiple times in his most recent interviews, than any candidate now or forevermore, that's pretty sick. Okay, we should have no allegiance to Israel or any other country. We can have affiliations, we can have connections, we can have, they can be allies, but competing to say that you're rather than saying you're a liberty lover, rather than saying that, okay, and refocusing, remember he hasn't said much about state sovereignty, has he? He hasn't really said much about the 10th Amendment. Remember he was supposed to be so gung-ho on that? Yeah, but he's a globalist, that's why. He's a liar, and a neoconner is not going to be a states' rights kind of guy. Okay. But Ron Paul is the best of the bunch. And that's why I'm endorsing him, for whatever that's worth. And we'll take your calls. More to come. Hold tight. We are live. The Iowa Caucuses are underway, and it's an interesting, if not exciting day. A day of reckoning.
You know the Constitution like the back of your hand. You've read books, listened to podcasts, attended lectures, surfed websites, and watched videos. You've made liberty your life's goal, but something seems to be missing. Stickers from LibertyStickers.com. Exercise your freedom of speech with the world's most dangerous bumper stickers. That's LibertyStickers.com. But wait. There's more. You can buy Liberty stickers wholesale. Get them for 99 cents each when you put 100 or more in your shopping cart in any combination. Sell them or give them away. They're great for gun shows, flea markets, fairs, outreach, and more. Earn extra money, promote freedom, and spread the word. Need custom stickers, labels, or decals for your organization or business? Liberty Stickers makes them. Go to LibertyStickers.com to order or call 877-873-9626. LibertyStickers.com. The world's most dangerous stickers.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
The Oracle Broadcasting Radio Network is on a mission to bring you the best in cutting-edge talk radio. Oracle Broadcasting is a true beacon of free speech, uncensored news, and relevant information that depends on the support of listeners just like you. You can help us expand our reach and inform the masses. Promote the network by clicking the Socialize link on the left-hand side of the OracleBroadcasting.com website. Using the simple tools provided, it is easy to spread the word about Oracle Broadcasting on social networking websites, blogs, news feeds, and many other ways with just one click. You can also help by becoming an Oracle Broadcasting member today. For just $5 a month, you get access to the members stream that allows you to listen to all of the great shows from Oracle Broadcasting in 128K stereo CD audio quality. To find out more, go to oraclebroadcasting.com. And thank you for listening to the Oracle Broadcasting Radio Network.
Hey America, it's your old friend W here. Do not tune into True Frequency Radio with Chris and Sherry every Saturday at 10 p.m. Central here on Oracle Broadcasting. Otherwise, the terrorists win.
Welcome back. Tom Donahue on the Oracle Broadcasting Network. And we want to thank TalkStream Live as well. Those of you who want to find out how the fourth quarter ended up in terms of the streaming ratings and rankings, actual listening sessions, you can check out some major ups and downs. Lots of volatility there, which is unusual. A lot of times it's pretty static. So you can check that out by clicking on the blog at TalkStream Live. Top 100 report for the year out later in the week. So those of you that are interested in that, more than 1,000 unique programs, check it out. Okay, we're going to the phones in a moment. I want to give you those numbers. It's 1-866-841-1065. It's 866-841-1065 or 512-904-8014. And you can always find those numbers at oraclebroadcasting.com. And my website is TomDonahueReports.com. You can check out the archives. You can check out various other things that are program related right there at TomDonahueReports.com. And we do welcome your calls. I've endorsed Ron Paul for whatever that's worth. You know, I'm not a purist, but I tend to be more someone that is. I don't look for middle ground, and I don't strive for gray area. I strive for truth. But I can say I'm endorsing Ron Paul without reluctance and without reservations, even where he's flawed, even as problematic as his campaign was in 2008, which many have commented on, because I think there is only one person that represents, in my view, more of our views as it relates to freedom, liberty, truth, the Constitution. It's not the answer. It's not going to revolutionize the country. It's just going to continue furthering, might even be incrementally, but I think it's more than incrementally, the message and the mission. But should our focus be on who's going to be president of the United States or the nominee for a particular party? No, there's a lot more to work on. But I've come to this conclusion, and I think my bigger theme here is it's not time to wreck the parties, because it's going to take a lot longer to do. But this insurgency and this infiltration and crashing the party is probably the best thing for the time being, because I don't think there's going to be a third party that's going to truly contest. Ron Paul might run. He has not ruled it out. So it's going to be an interesting year, nevertheless. And we'll be talking about the results of the Caucasian caucuses. And I'm not saying it from a racist perspective or a prejudice perspective, or, it is true that the first two states where the votes come in are, I have to look at the exact totals, but I think New Hampshire is 97% Caucasian. And I believe Iowa's 95, something to that extent. And then South Carolina, people could flip it and say, hey, well, proportionally speaking, that'd be more of a black representation. Well, not quite, but proportionally speaking, yes, it would be a disproportionate amount. We're going to go to the calls. And again, I'm not here to have a casual conversation. I want to hit the main points of you reacting to the endorsement, reacting to Ron Paul, reacting to the caucuses, reacting to the fact that we are now, things are heating up, Politics Central 2012 in our great country. Let's try Dave in Montana. Dave, what's up?
Hey, Happy New Year, man.
Likewise, my friend.
Hey, if I trusted my government, I'd be all for Ron Paul, but I'd feel if Ron Paul was elected, they'd JFK him.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, I think that he's going to be marginalized and minimized and sidelined much sooner than that. But again, I just felt compelled that here's a man that's speaking to the mainstay of our message, and why not show him a little love? Why not show him a little support? And that's how I felt. I mean, if I'm at 76 and still swatting away at this, and even with his flaws, I got to give him some credit.
The media is like, you could just see how the media hates his guts. They don't.
There's no
even
question.
Like that.
And now that he seems a serious contender, they really are skewering him. And one thing I wanted to say about this Santorum thing, as disgusting as Alan Combs was, and his attacks on Santorum and what they did with the infant child of theirs that that was a preemie and had very, I think just hours to live, and I don't want to get into all the details, but I also think for him to use the term disgusting for Ron Paul, that's not a term that would represent Ron Paul. You could say that I feel that his foreign policy or his national security ideas are reckless or dangerous, or he's entitled to that, but disgusting? Because he's such a strong neoconner? Meaning Santorum?
Nah, yeah, the whole thing stinks, man. I don't trust my government no more. I think both parties should be held in treason crime.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, what do you think, or what is it you're going to do to help us return to or reclaim our republic? What ideas do you have? What specific actions are you taking?
Myself, specific actions is I try to live as free as possible, and I speak out against anything that I see that is against freedom. And right now, I think Perry. This is my plan for Perry to get ahead real quick, because Perry's a governor of the state, so he has some power within his own state to do things. And one of them things is that recently Texas arrested a California person that was a medical marijuana user for a half ounce of marijuana and 2 grams of hash. And they arrested him and put him in jail for life.
It's insanity. And that's one thing that Ron Paul would say.
So Perry, as a governor, has the power to pardon this man, and then pardon all the non-violent cannabis.
Wait a minute. Perry's not going to do this. So where are you going with this?
He would become a sensation overnight if he did.
Okay, all right. I just feel we're going off the deep end here. It's like saying that Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck are going to do something in this election. This guy is not going to do that. This guy is just like George Bush Jr. They pride themselves on their execution rate. They pride themselves on tough justice, even if it's not fair, even if it's not really just. Okay, that's what criminal justice is. It's criminal. So I don't talk about things that are just fairy tale theater. Just like I said, Ron Paul's not going to win. I know that, and I'm not going to devote an inordinate amount of time on the subject, and because it would be futile to invest too much time and effort. But just say, hey, I support the fact that this man is willing to stand up and take on and grapple with these issues that are important to most of us. Again, a flawed candidate. Not a perfect guy on some issues, but nevertheless, I think that the meat and the potatoes in this movement, you got to give him a little loving, you got to give him a little support, and if all of us can give him a little mojo, and it helps us with our messaging and our mission, nothing lost. But those that actually believe he's going to win beyond maybe, he could win Iowa, but that's not going to. Rarely does the winner of Iowa become the nominee, let alone the President of the United States? So, at least, actually in both parties. So again, I don't have high hopes, but what's so wrong with just saying, hey, let's throw a little support, let's give this guy a little bit of let's try to swing the momentum a little bit, and that's all we can ask for. And we got other issues to deal with, but truly we got to try to the best of our ability to reclaim our republic.
The home of cutting-edge talk radio. Online, worldwide, at oraclebroadcasting.com. TeamSpeak.cc is proud to announce that TeamSpeak 3 is now available. TeamSpeak is now more flexible, powerful, and scalable. TeamSpeak software enables people to speak with one another and transfer files over the internet. TeamSpeak represents years of engineering experience and is available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. TeamSpeak.cc has the best integrated solutions for online gamers, virtual worlds, social networks, education, and any environment where up to thousands thousands of users require crystal clear voice communications. Users can finally say goodbye to echo, feedback, and background buzzing noises as the evolution in quality voice communication has arrived. Go to teamspeak.cc to find out more. Servers now available and starting at just $2 a month. Remember, that website is teamspeak.cc, your total voice-over IP solutions provider. Teamspeak.cc.
At hempusa.org, we offer chemical-free products to people around the world, detoxifying, self-healing, while rebuilding the immune system. We urge our listeners to please consider our largest-selling product, microplant powder. Our microplant powder is rich in silica and probiotics to help rebuild the immune system and to create a healthy stomach flora. Microplant powder is excellent for daily intake and is perfect to add to your storage shelter. We urge our listeners to please visit us at hempusa.org. And remember, all of our products are chemical-free and healthy to eat. We constantly strive to give you the best service, highest quality, and rapid shipping anywhere. And we offer free shipping on orders over $95 in the U.S. Please visit us at hempusa.org or call 908-691-2608. That's 908-691-2608. See what our powder, seeds, and oil can do for you at hempusa.org.
Hey, how's that Frankenfood working out for you? You like it? Why don't you quit eating it and start growing your own high-quality, low-cost food? Gardening in a failed economy will teach you the methods that you need to grow food just about anywhere, even on concrete. Gardening in a failed economy will teach you to grow high-quality, low-cost food in just about any location, just about anywhere in the world. Download a copy of Gardening in a Failed Economy from distributedliving.net.
Across the sands of time, from the lands of Abraham to the lands of Julius Caesar, the metals of the earth were forged into the coin of the realm. Now you can own a piece of history with affordable ancient coins from the Greek, Biblical, Roman, and Byzantine eras. Guaranteed authentic by Janus Numismatics. Transport yourself to the distant past at trustedcoins.com. That's trustedcoins.com.
Welcome back, Tom Donahue on the Oracle Broadcasting Network and TalkStream Live and Talk Superstations on board with us 5 days a week, sometimes 1 hour, many days 2 hours. We do appreciate that. And, of course, you listen a lot of different ways through mobile and the tablets and the pads, and thank you very much. We do appreciate that. And there's a lot of micro stations. And, of course, there's some mom and poppers, and we do appreciate that, too. So we're going to continue to grow during this political season. And I think we can bring I'm not a person that dwells in a conspiracy cave, okay? Or conspiracy closet. It's time to just say, we're going to call it like we see it. We're going to tell the truth, no matter whom it hurts. We're always going to shed light where there's darkness, and let the truth prevail. And that's the way we're going to roll here. Now, there are some that just they want to poo-poo any political action. They just want to sit around and call talk shows and bemoan the problems, but there's really no political action. There is no just talking about it is not going to manifest results. So yes, we're going to get down and dirty, meaning we're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to talk about various things, whether it would be and we have the banners on our news and resources page that I think could be very helpful. But whether it's the Oath Keepers, whether it's the 10th Amendment Center, those are the kind of things that we're going to keep our eyes on the prize. But it is a very big political year, and there's only one candidate that expresses truly any of our sentiments, and even has a conscience for the Constitution, and has courage to actually speak this as a candidate for the Constitution. Now, again, to reiterate, he's flawed. He's not. I mean, he's going to be mistake prone. So what? And again, he'd be, eminently better than any of the others. Now, I'm going to just break down for you a little bit what's going on in Iowa. Okay, you have Newt Gingrich who's saying, well, he should have gone negative like his main nemesis, Mitt Romney, at least alleged. Well, it's like pro wrestling: the white hat, the black hat, the good guy, the bad guy. You get the picture. So in that scenario, whether it's real or imagined, the bottom line is you've got Gingrich is starting to resurge a little bit. Santorum, because he's so locked in with the evangelicals and the values voters. And that's really shocking. I guess maybe because she's a woman, maybe because she's gaffe prone, maybe because she's calling herself the Iron Lady and all that. But she did pretty well in the debates, Michelle Bachmann. She did win the Iowa straw poll. But, boy, I'll tell you, shortly thereafter, now Perry really, besides the fact that he perished pretty quickly, he was the one that really distracted people from her and kind of circumvented the Tea Party interest away from her. Because if you look at anybody, she started that Tea Party caucus in Congress. She's been at all these Tea Party meetings. She really, if they wanted to reward someone who has fought for them and has been loyal to just the Tea Party, they have 3 or 4, planks, most of it's economic. In nature. So it's shocking to me that someone that's been their darling and has been really a loyalist has not been rewarded. And so the smartest thing she can do, she was born in Iowa. And if she cannot win or show well, and look, right now she's in last place. Now, Huntsman is there, but that doesn't really count, because he's not even campaigning there. He's spending all his time in New Hampshire. So look to see her drop out pretty quickly, unless there's some miracle or some magic, and I don't see that happening. So in terms of the values voter, the evangelical vote, which is going to be very big in South Carolina, you're going to see Perry and you're going to see Santorum fighting for that, primarily. Gingrich is trying to sneak in there because he's saying, well, okay, I'm a redeemed person. God's forgiven me. You guys hopefully have forgiven me. And he even signed a vow. He even signed with the evangelicals a vow to them beyond his wife that he would never cheat again. That's pretty sick. He's a sinister guy. That's why I call him devil incarnate. The Newtster needs to be neutered. But anyway, so Newt Gingrich, he's not finished yet. But I'm going to still stick to my political prognostications. And I said this more than a year ago, that Romney would be the nominee. Never wavered on that, no matter who surged, whether he's blowing smoke, Kane, or blowing kisses, or groping, or fondling, or, whatever this guy was into. But the worst part about Kane was his associations and his employ with the Federal Reserve System, in my view. But then again, I'm not a woman, so I'd probably see it differently if I was a woman. But again, I'm going to tell you that I believe Romney will be the nominee, and Romney actually, because of the economy, and I think the NWO is starting to shift from the Obama nation to Romney because he's Mr. Corporation, and so I have a sense that either would do fine, and they could work with either, and they will, and there's no problem there. They still win, we still lose. But I think it's going to be Romney that'll be the president of the United States. No, would it surprise me if Obama Nation pulls it out? No. But again, that was my prediction. I stick to it. It might have to be revised, but I've been pretty good about this. I said Kane was going to go nowhere. And I told you. Now, Santorum surprised me a little bit in Iowa, but again, he tapped into the Huckster bee, vote. And so, as a matter of fact, some of his campaign people worked for I call him Hucksterby, but Huckabee. And he won. But you see how far that got Huckabee. He didn't win the nomination. Now, if you look at some of these endorsements, Bob Dole, George Bush Sr., I mean, Romney is as mainstream and as part of the establishment as you can get. And so he's priding himself on some of these endorsements. And so Gingrich is saying that, well, I try to be Mr. Nice Guy. And try to stay positive. Well, he didn't have the money, as much money as Romney, of course, the war chest, to fight back on the airwaves. And then, of course, Ron Paul and Michelle Bachmann, because the Newster was, he was commandingly, surging and seemed to be maintaining more than others flavors of the week until the negative advertising. Some of it was truthful advertising from Ron Paul and Michelle Bachmann. Gingrich, says that they were all negative ads, but I would say probably Romney may have put some negative advertising. But see, Romney has these political PACs that nobody seems to know who they are and where the money's coming from, but that they really went after Newt Gingrich. So because of all that, Gingrich has been on a major slide. But they say he's gotten a little bit of a bump because now he's fighting back and he's saying that these are lies and blah, blah, blah. So the way I think the caucuses are going to come out, I think Romney somehow, again, it doesn't matter if you say 1, 2, or 3, but I think Romney somehow is going to sneak through and actually win. I know it seems a little bit surprising, but I think that he might have pulled it off, especially having his wife on the campaign trail and some of their stories and trying to humanize him and seemingly less corporate and robotic and just CEO type. And then I think, and again, I could be totally wrong, but I have a feeling it's going to be Romney, Santorum, and then Paul. But it could almost be a dead heat. And so it would not surprise me if it's Ron Paul that wins, and Santorum second, and Romney third, and Gingrich fourth. But I don't think Michelle Bachmann, who's making all these claims of being the Iron Lady and Superwoman, and because she's visited all 99 counties, just like Santorum, that she's going to win. She's not going to win. That would be that. Now that would be a real shocker. That would mean that the political polling was completely, off base, and I don't think they are. I think that there's no way of getting a complete handle on those caucuses. But Ron Paul has the ground game, the loyalist, they're fervent followers, and so it would not surprise me. So it'll be interesting to get the results. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll talk about other things. But again, my strategy for the year, and you might disagree. You might say it's time to take the wrecking ball. It's time to wreck the parties. And but I think for now, to have at least some impact, it's time to crash the party. It's time to infiltrate, insinuate ourselves in ways that we can maybe play some political role. And I'm talking about at all levels of government. Federal, state, local, etc. Right back, hold tight, Tom Donahue. Tom Donahue Reports on the Oracle Broadcasting Network.
Amazon.com has become a leader in online retail and is a place where people can find and discover virtually anything they want to buy. Amazon offers thousands of products including
books, movies, and music,
full range of electronics,
computer and office,
sports and outdoors,
dry, storable, and organic foods,
health and wellness,
survival and tactical gear,
home and garden, and much more.
Amazon not only offers over 10,000 online products, but also operates retail websites and offers programs that enable you to sell your products online.
By making your purchases through Amazon.oraclebroadcasting.com, a portion of each purchase goes to the Oracle Broadcasting Network.
Find great prices on hard-to-find items and help support Oracle Broadcasting at the same time. That website again is Amazon.oraclebroadcasting.com.
Did you know that the water you're drinking may contain over 2,000 different contaminants? From hormone-disrupting and mind-altering chemicals like fluoride in pharmaceuticals to newly emerging contaminants like radiation and other hybrid chemicals that water treatment plants don't screen out of our drinking water. PureEffectFilters.com has a breakthrough filter solution to effectively reduce the widest range of such contaminants, including the radiation coming from the Fukushima disaster. In addition, the filters will also revitalize your water by releasing natural minerals and electrolytes while increasing pH and antioxidant levels. Safeguard and revitalize your drinking water today with a breakthrough Pure Effect water filter system. Visit PureEffectFilters.com to learn more or contact us today at 1-888-891-4821. That's 1-888-891-4821 or visit PureEffectFilters.com to learn more.
AG is a symbol for silver on the periodic table of elements. Silvercoins.ag is the web address for helpful information about silver coins and silver bullion rounds. Silvercoins.ag features articles about the history of silver coins, factors in grading silver coins, and useful information for buying silver coins online. Silvercoins.ag is a great resource for the experienced buyer, anyone just starting to buy or collect silver coins, or friends and family interested in buying silver coins as gifts. Silvercoins.ag links you directly to popular online retailers and auctions so that you can quickly see what is available, compare prices, and purchase in a quick and secure environment. Plus, you help support this broadcast. So whether you're interested in buying 1 coin or 1,000, silvercoins.ag is the web address to visit. That's silvercoins.ag.
Radio X. With your host, Jimmy X.
Sundays at noon on the Oracle Broadcasting Network.
Putting the punch into politics, patriotism in action, crowd protection is Tom Donahue with Tom Donahue Reports. So glad you can be with us. Thanks to all of you at the Oracle Broadcasting Network, Talk Superstation, Talk Stream Live and beyond. And if you want to check out our website, we certainly welcome that. The archives are free, both at Oracle, and you can also pick those up if you're picking them up at TomDonahueReports.com. And we did an edit on the last live broadcast, which was the year in review and the wrap-up and the winners and losers, the heroes and zeros. We made that, we eliminated 4 minutes of, well, the blank space. So those of you that are interested, again, now I still sound a little bit like a tunnel effect, but we got through it, and we covered a lot of ground. I was thinking about doing a special report on that, and I said, I don't know, I just couldn't get the motivation to do it over the weekend. So those of you that want to glean out the golden nuggets from there, feel free to. And you can go back in time to either special reports I've done or all the live broadcasts that are available. So either through Oracle or through TomDonahueReports.com. And if you're a subscriber, we send right to your email inbox at tomdonahue.podomatic.com. So I hope that you guys will do that and share with others. You can just send the links to others, and they can listen at their leisure. Now, I have not established a definitive restream time on TalkStream Live. So we're still looking at how we want to do that. That is through TD Media, through the way I stream. But we're very thankful for the live broadcast, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time here at Oracle Broadcasting. And that would be 3 to 5 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday. So, again, we're really glad to be a part of this, especially as things are heating up politically. And it's getting pretty pugnacious out there. And well, not just the pundits, but beyond. So Palin is pathetic and a non-factor. Herman Cain blew his smoke and his wad, and so he's done. And even says here on Newsmax, he won't seek the White House again. I too much baggage, too much smoke and mirrors. Goodbye, see you later. So his endorsement would mean absolutely nothing. Now, one thing I didn't say about the year in review was the 999. That got a lot of play. And then remember he corrected and said, well, I'll take one of the 9s out. Yeah, okay, what, 909, whatever. Who cares? Santorum is a surprise, although when he was able to coalesce the Huckster Bee folks to tell the evangelical vote, the values voter, and he thinks he's got a magical vest. It's sort of like the Mormons with their magical underwear, their secret garments. Well, masonry too. kind of silly. But using terms that Ron Paul's disgusting because he says we're going to bring our military home and we're going to just protect our nation and not intrude and interlope and occupy the world. We're not an empire. At least that's not the goal of the common citizenry here. Is not in favor of occupying the world. We're not in favor of building an empire. And that's the problem with the neoconners is that they do want to regulate and control the world, and they want to utilize and harness the United States as the empire builder and occupier, and that's tragic. So I've mentioned previously, and if you're just joining us, feel free to harvest the archive off of. Matter of fact, as soon as this program ends, the archives are there and available at oraclebroadcasting.com. Now, remember, it's oraclebroadcasting.com. There's not network in there. Oraclebroadcasting.com. And, of course, later tonight, we'll have it up at TomDonahueReports.com. So, yes, I've endorsed Ron Paul, and I do it maybe not enthusiastically, but I don't really have reluctance or resistance or regrets or reservations. It's just that there is no other liberty candidate. And again, even though he's flawed in some ways, and even though we disagree in some areas, but the meat and the potatoes of this movement, for the most part, he's our courier. He is our he's as close to being our spokesman as we're going to get. That's going to have the national stage. Now, of course, I'd love for him to be more convincing and more compelling, and even more courageous in the way he would approach things. But I'll say that he's improved. He's done a better job. His campaign, and we'll see how organized they are coming out of New Hampshire, after the caucuses, and then a week from now in New Hampshire. If he's got that organization intact in these other major states, and he garners a pretty good percentage, maybe he'll take it all the way to is it Tampa this year? I think that's where the Republican convention's going to be. I'm not certain. I'm not going off of notes, but I thought I remembered Tampa being I'll double check, but it doesn't matter. It could be Topeka for all I care. It doesn't, really, I could care less where the Republican National Convention's held. But this, and that there's several candidates. Now, Romney is pretty clever this way. He said that if Ron Paul were the nominee, because he knows he's not going to be, he said, yes, I would support him. That was a smart move on his part, to not alienate the Ron Paul loyalist. Now, Bachmann made a serious error, I think, on that. Santorum, the same thing, when they're saying that because of his national, for his foreign policy and national security positions, they will not support him as the nominee. So, see, Ron Paul now has basically a carte blanche, except for the ones that said that they would support the Republican even if it were Ron Paul. So it's going to be interesting to see what Ron Paul does. Now, Ron Paul did say, when he was asked, he said, I don't see these candidates changing. If they were to change and adopt more of my principles, then I could see myself supporting another person beyond himself as the nominee. So I don't think Ron Paul will support the nominee, and that really ticks a lot of people off. And he still hasn't ruled out, although he said it's not his intention to run as an independent. And no, we don't care about Donald Trump. Even though Donald Trump has the protectionist views in some ways, and yes, and he seems to be more of a nationalist, although we don't know if that's what he really believes. No, I don't believe that's the guy. Okay, you might say, okay, like Romney, he might be able to fix the economy. I don't know how the president fixes anything. I mean, either the economic conditions and climate are there for job creation, or for small business to kind of be the fuel and to be the engine for that, or it isn't. But nevertheless, people want to believe that they're going to rely on the federal government for all the solutions, for all the remedies, and that's just like the callers today said that. And I don't stake hope in Ron Paul. My hope isn't in the presidential nominating process or the election itself, but I still want to be a part of the process. I still want to be able to make comments, and I still want to make contributions in some way, shape, or form. And I just felt that the strongest way I could do that is at least show support and endorse Ron Paul right now. Okay? How much difference that makes? Probably not much. But I'm just expressing myself as a host, as an individual, as a concerned American, and that's the way it is. Now, if other candidates emerge that run as independents later in the game, I'll endorse them if I feel strongly that they can make some difference. I mean, Ron Paul, with the message and the mission, is making some strides. I mean, all of us are benefiting from the fact that some of these issues now, Federal Reserve namely, are not fringe issues anymore. Sound money is not a fringe issue. You know, bringing the troops home and being non-interventionist is not a fringe issue unless you're a neoconner and unless you're a Zionist and wanting to protect Israel and certain other interests throughout the world. So it's getting more and more interesting. And I'm feeling like we might see some progress on certain fronts as it relates to what I like to think of as the patriotic or the patriot, freedom, liberty, truth-related movement. Now, again, there's no lockstep movement, and there's a lot of infighting, and there's a lot of infiltration, and it's not perfect, but there's still a mindset, and there's still a movement afoot that is continuing to grow, that actually, takes great pride in the preservation of liberty and freedom. And so the fight for freedom and the love of liberty marches on. And I think with Ron Paul, it's a benefit to all of us that feel and believe this way, even though he's flawed in some ways. I think he's the best guy. There's no question. He's the most authentic, real deal candidate that speaks for us in some ways. May God bless you and God bless our great country. Till we meet again, have a great night.
Flawless Science believes you deserve the right to have a long and healthy life. You deserve to have toxin-free air and water, and foods rich in minerals and nutrients. Factory farming, genetically modified foods, and thousands of environmental contaminants are polluting our world and stripping your right to healthy life away from you. FlawlessScience.com helps you regain these rights. FlawlessScience.com makes natural products and provides the best nutraceutical products to enhance your quality of life, your state of health, and well-being. So whether you're struggling with obesity, diabetes, hypertension, memory loss, allergies, high cholesterol, neuropathy, or to spice things up in the bedroom, FlawlessScience.com is here to help you. FlawlessScience.com ships quickly, worldwide, in discreet packaging, and will never sell your information to anyone for any reason. For all your wellness, weight control, extreme muscle building, and nutraceutical needs, visit FlawlessScience.com today.
Introducing the world's first and only Swiss Gold Savings Plan, specifically designed to be simple and affordable for families worldwide. This is the best way to trade rapidly depreciating paper money for gold. Our product is 999.9% fine Kinnabar grade gold ingots, refined in weights as small as 1/2 gram, and embedded into a protective card. Finally, everybody can afford to protect themselves with gold. And, best of all, you now have a zero-cost, zero-obligation, once-in-a-lifetime golden opportunity to earn true wealth by sharing this plan with others. Until now, available only to the Europeans, the program has just opened in the U.S. and Canada and is experiencing explosive growth. When you have everything to gain and nothing to lose, you owe it to yourself to at least check it out. For full details, please go to www.swissgoldbythegram.com or click on our banner ad on the oraclebroadcasting.com website. They say timing is everything, and your timing is perfect.
The home of cutting-edge talk radio. Online, worldwide, at oraclebroadcasting.com.